Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Cowboys StoryLine with Nick Eatman.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Cowboys StoryLine. It is Wednesday, September the 18th. It's hump day here, middle of the week, getting ready to talk more about the Ravens. I think we're done with the Saints, as one of the callers said yesterday, so eloquently, that we could flush away that game and move on. But I still think that the lingering problems from that game are going to be stuff that we talk about and see how they carry over or not carry over to this game against the Ravens. Injury-wise, Jake Ferguson's the big one to watch there, tight end for the Cowboys. Did not play last week, did not practice all of the week. I think let's see what he does today. Even if he's limited, that would be better than what we've seen, and that would be maybe ramping it up, trying to get him back and ready to go. And I think that he's needed. I mean, Luke Schoonmaker did a nice job, but I think that there's a big difference there and just a dynamic type of tight end, a guy that can get down the field, make some plays, and really give you some big play potential. And I think Ferguson does that. So that's something to keep an eye on for him this week. And John Stevens as well, another tight end, has not played for the Cowboys yet. Injuries have limited him. So let's see if both of them can get on the field for this game. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. 888-855-2297 is the number to call. Let's start us off here. We got Cowboy Jeff. He's in Maryland. What's up, man?
Good morning, Mr. Nick. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am living the dream. I'm here with my daughter, Carly.
Hey, Carly. Hello.
And my dog, Toby Romo. I've
Nice.
made many mistakes as a father, but my daughter is a Cowboys fan, so I did something right.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Here we go. I love it.
Thank you for the here we go. Actually, I'm a second-time caller. I called you around Thanksgiving last year. But,
All right.
This is my daughter's first time, but I called so long ago, I got a ding. I didn't get the here we go. So
okay.
So
all right.
We are ready for to beat the Ravens, and whether they win, whether they lose, whether they tie, we love us some Dallas Cowboys.
That's awesome. That is great. Never seen a tie. Don't really want it to start it off, but that's one thing I've never seen. Don't ever want to see that. That would be terrible. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so we're fine. I mean, what happened on Sunday was not ideal, but it's behind us, and we are looking forward to. I know we don't have a great record against the Ravens, and but we can definitely beat them. So I see that happening on Sunday, and
how do you see that happening, Jeff? I mean, and I'm not arguing with you. I'm just asking, what do you see it needs to happen the most for the Cowboys to do that?
Well, I see we're going to play better offensively. We're gonna when we get to the red zone, we're going to have touchdowns, and we're going to protect the ball. And defensively, we are going to do much better against the run, and that's what I see happening. I just see a better, we got the crap beat out of us last week, and it happens to the best of them. But we are going to respond the right way.
Yeah, that's what it takes. I think that's the big word of the week is response. I mean, how do they respond from that? We're going to learn a lot about the team here in week 3. We think we know about it. Thanks for the call, Jeff and Carly and Toby Romo. Thank you there for the big support in Maryland. Don't get a lot of calls from Maryland. That's good. Good stuff there. But I think response is the big key this week. They have to figure out how to get off the mat and what happens from there. I mean, do you just keep getting hit, or do you turn this into like every Rocky movie where the first couple of rounds just look terrible, and then all of a sudden you just keep grinding, keep fighting, get the whole crowd to turn against the hometown guy and cheer for you and end communism at the same time and then win the fight at the end. Sorry, having a Rocky IV moment. But I'm just saying, it's how do you respond? And that's what they have to do. All right, let's go to Jeremy in Salt Lake City.
Hello.
Jeremy, what's up, man?
Hey, man. Just wanted to call in and, a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, I watched that press conference with Mike Zimmer, and it made me feel a little better when he started talking about the pickle juice game. I kind of want your thoughts on that and a couple memories from that. If I remember correctly, all I remember about that game was Jeremiah Trotter onside kick. Right? Am I thinking of the right game?
Yeah. I don't know.
And
I don't know about,
didn't Joey Galloway get hurt that game too? I think.
Yep.
But yeah, that made me feel better. Just watching Zim, the way he takes responsibility for it all.
Yeah.
He didn't put it on the players, and I think he'll get that turned around. After watching the All 22, there were a lot. There were a lot of things in that All 22 that came out. As far as our running game too, I said it on Monday. Rico made some bad choices. There was a couple times where he had a cutback lane that he didn't take. There's some things that we can work out, and that it's not, the season isn't lost, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing, this thing keeps on. I apologize. But yeah, I was just wanting your thoughts on that pickle juice game.
All right.
And I'll hang up.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, usually a game that you put way in the distant memory there, because it was about as bad as you could ever have and to ever start the season. 2000, Dave Campo, first year head coach, and it's 109 degrees in at Texas Stadium, and it felt like 130 on the field. And the Eagles start off with an onside kick, and that's how the season begins. And then they win. I think it's like 41-14. Deuce Staley rushes for 200-something yards, and the Eagles were drinking pickle juice on the sideline to help them. And they're sitting right in the sun, but it didn't bother them. And Aikman with a concussion, and Galloway gets hurt. I mean, it was like, not only is it just bad start, but then the whole season was terrible. But Zimmer talked about how he had to, pick it up from there. I mean, he's the defensive coordinator now. This is his, because we remember that as Campo, it was the first game for Zimmer as the defensive coordinator. And that year was tough. I mean, gave up a lot of 200-yard rushers, like 3 that year. So I think his point is that if he didn't figure it out at some point, he wouldn't be sitting here where he is now. And, I never once ever realized that about Zimmer until actually like 10 seconds ago, that was his first game ever as defensive coordinator. I mean, I always put that on Campo as, Campo's first game as a coach, but I never remembered that it was Zimmer's first game as defensive coordinator. So interesting. But that's what I remember from that game, and that was the start of the 2000 season, and it was the start of 3, 5, and 11 years. And so that's why I don't really like bringing that up, like, oh, like this is going to lead to something else. Let's see if the Cowboys can turn it around. They have a much better football team and better players than they had in that season. So that's why that's not a very good one to compare it to. But Zimmer did bring it up, and that's why Jeremy mentioned it. All right, Albert in Tucson, Arizona. Albert.
Hey, good morning, Nick.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I got lucky this week 2 times. But hey, I'm a storyline guy, so
Yeah.
I got to call into this great show.
Thank you.
My first call, I didn't really get your opinion on Brandon Aubrey's been
awesome.
Awesome, right?
Right.
So, on years past, when we're down, we need something, to give us that little jolt. What do you think about, the special teams, either, throwing a fake pass from the punter, from Brandon Aubrey, from somebody on special teams to give us that jolt? Do you think those guys are capable of doing something like that?
Yep, I do. I mean, if you, I think Anger is, he can throw it. I mean, we've seen a play before like that. I don't know if they're at that point of the season to do that. I mean, there's different theories there. I've seen people throw it out in the preseason just to kind of get it out there and get it on tape. So knowing John Fossil there, Bones he's doing something like that. He's got something in the works. But I'll say this: typically, the teams that run the fakes and do all the reverses and the throwbacks and all the trick plays are the teams that aren't very good, and that's because you have to do that kind of stuff to compete. You hope that that's not what this team is, but we'll find out. In 2020 they weren't very good, and they did have to do a lot of fakes and things like that. Last few years you haven't seen it as much, so. But it's always there. It's always something to put in there and bring out of the bag if you need to.
Sweet. Yep.
All right.
Hopefully they do, man. Thank you very much. God bless you guys, and keep up the great work.
All right. Thanks, Albert. Albert called earlier this week. I remember he was the one saying we needed they need a hype guy or something there on the sideline, and maybe they do. But and if it's not that. A trick play, he's looking for something. You know what? At least when you call, you're bringing something to the table. I don't always agree. That's fine. Y'all don't always agree with me. We don't have to agree. Just be thinking. Just think outside of the box. You just got your ass kicked by 25 points at home to the Saints. All right, got to do something here. So I actually appreciate calls like that for sure. You got to figure it out. One thing you hate is when people say, "No, that's not going to work," and you're like, "All right, well, what do you suggest?" I don't know, but that's not going to work. You know what I mean? At least have a plan. At least have something. I like it. Good job, Albert. All right, let's keep it going here. Dylan, Northport, Florida. Dylan, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how's it going?
Good. You?
Good. Yeah, I saw the Implier made an appearance yesterday on StoryLine. The old school Cowboys breaking flyer, man. Sorry, I had to call into talking yesterday. I had a work call at 11, so this time, so I couldn't make this call. Okay. But I did get my fix in yesterday, man.
That's right. I did throw a little jab there. I was kidding. Because I heard that there was like 3 or 4 callers they take on Tuesdays that talking, and so Chris was like, "Yeah, man, Dylan's cheating on you." So I was. It's all good.
Yeah, man.
Hey, the same phone number for everybody. Same phone number, so you can call all the shows. Just that not everybody picks up like we do.
Yes, sir. It's getting hard to call into your show. I had 100 and something dials on Monday. I couldn't get through, but I'm gonna keep trying. I'm trying to call in just a couple times a week because I talk a lot, and I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to talk. So, if I could, just a quick announcement for our spaces on Twitter. We're going to do one every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. So I have that in our Twitter spaces. So anybody that wants to join up and talk with all of us, talk football, talk about the show, you can join up there on our Twitter spaces page, Cowboys Storyliners.
All right.
And then
Thursday
yes,
at 9 Eastern?
Thursday at 9 Eastern.
And how long do you guys
every week
typically go?
Usually a couple of hours. I kind of planned it so we can watch the football game, watch Al Michaels suffer every Thursday and act like it's the worst night of his life. And then, we can have some fun, talk football and all that while we watch the game together.
Is that the narrative for him? Like I honestly...
He just seems miserable.
Yeah. Well...
He deserves better because he's a great announcer. I just don't think that these games are very interesting on Thursday for him for the most part.
They typically aren't. I don't know what it is. I think it's because everybody has to get a game, and so it just... I don't know. It always just feels like the Titans are playing or the Jaguars. That's the ones I always. I know it's not. That's not always the case. And there's been some good ones. And the Cowboys, we're going to be there next Thursday night. It'll be that game, and that probably won't be a good game either. Cowboys and Giants. Who knows? Well,
last year Cowboys Seahawks probably the best game they had since they started doing these Thursday night games that I can remember. Anyways, that was a great one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first Thursday night game of the season was about as good as it gets. The Ravens and
that's true.
Ravens and Chiefs. All right, what do you got, Dylan?
Yeah. Okay. Real quick about the run game. I think it's going to be better this week. First off, it's not a Shanahan tree, so that's great news for us. And second, these guys play more hat-on-hat football. They're not doing, pulling guards and tackles. They're not, getting these reach blocks and trying to get these second-level blocks and stuff as much as far as the design goes. So I think our DTs will have a better chance this week just to get hat on hat and just hold their ground. The linebackers slow. They don't really do a lot of outside run plays, so that's good news for us. And then I heard yesterday talking about Deuce and the running backs. And just an interesting stat on Juice I saw online yesterday. He's got 15% of the touches out of the backfield, so that's catches and runs. He has 6 of them total, right? But he has more combined forced missed tackles than Zeke and Dowell combined, and they have 20 touches apiece. So there's something there. I think you just have to give them a larger dose. I think they had a plan for that against the Saints. They just were in a negative script, got out of rhythm, and couldn't call the plays like they wanted to. So before I make any moves for Dalvin Cook, first off, I'm giving him more touches to see what he can really do, and I'm giving him plays not just up the middle. I know you got to do that, but I'm also going to use him to his strength. I'm going to get him out of backfield on some swing routes and screens. You don't have to be a pass pro running back. If they're blitzing, you can get out on a route. So I want to see more designs like that. Let's see what he can really do before we bench him for Cook.
All right, Dylan. Well, I don't know if I agree with that of him kind of being the guy that needs a lot more carries. I thought it was sort of forced. However, I don't have to agree. I think that you might be onto something, and from the stuff that I hear, I think Deuce Vaughn will get a little bit more carries. So I don't know if he's get the start. I'm not sure about how they're going to do all of that, but I think that what we saw is just there's going to be more of that. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Guys, phone lines are open right now, 888-855-2297. Actually, one line is open because we have another caller in, but I'll finish that point from Dylan that, I think that the reason why, and this kind of goes back to a call from yesterday about running back by committee. And, I think you kind of back into running back by committee or receiver by committee or anything by committee. I mean, that's not really what you want to do, but that's the way it turns out. And it seems like the running back position is one where it's split within the organization. It's not like there's one guy that everybody thinks is the best one. And that's kind of a problem when you have a lot of coaches, a lot of scouts, and you've got, owner GM, and you've got Steven, Will McClay, you got all these, people, head coach, of course, and you got different opinions. And so, when it doesn't work, then now the other people come in like, well, what about this guy? What about this guy? So, we might see everybody get a turn at this, and who knows? But I know this that whoever it is better be physical and ready to break those tackles, because Roquan Smith and the Ravens are going to mean business for sure Sunday at 3:25. There's no doubt. All right, let's go to Ronnie in New Jersey.
Good morning, Nick.
What's up, Ronnie?
Not much, Nick. I've been trying to get on since the last time I got on. It's you've become the hardest person to get through, man. It's unbelievable. I tried calling so many times. It's amazing. Nick,
appreciate it.
The other day you had you were popular before, but you're way more popular now.
Thank you.
Nick, the other day you had this guy, he called, right? He was talking about how about if we brought a hype man, to get the players. I'm like, a hype man? That's what the players are for. That's what the other players are for. That's what the coaches are for. You don't need a hype, man. If you need to get hyped because you're having a bad day, because the other team is just running the ball, you can't stop them. I mean, you need a hype man for that? Come on, man. No, you don't need a hype man. You need tougher players. And I'm gonna say, I know you're gonna say every one of them is tough. I know they're all tough, but when you see D-Law out hustling the defensive backs, the linebackers, all these guys to get to the running back while the guy's scoring a touchdown, but he's still out running these guys and he's way slower than them. Yeah, you need guys that have that mentality. You need guys that are tough. You need guys that gotta want it. Not, that you need the other guys to push them to want it, like certain players that we might have. I don't want to call them out, but you need that type of player. Like we're gonna go every year. This is how I'm seeing it. Every year we go through the same thing. Every year we're like, hey, you know what? I called you last week. I got through last week, and I said, you know what, Nick? I want to see how they play when they play against the Saints. And just like I expected, when a team that's tough and punches them in the mouth, what do? They back down. And it's upsetting because you think the coach is going to change with the new defensive coordinator and everything, and it's still the same. That's the hardest part, I'll be honest with you. But hopefully, maybe I don't know, somebody gets through to them, but I don't see it happen. But with that, thanks for taking my call, Nick. I appreciate you. I've been watching you since the lunch break.
All right.
Not the break. The lunch break.
So, that's right. Yeah, we just dropped the lunch break. Yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate you, Chris, everybody there, and thanks for taking my call.
Ronnie. All right. Let's keep it rolling. Everything. Let's go to Rex in Frisco. Rex.
Hey, Nick, how's it going? First of all, I love all the things that the DallasCowboys.com writers do, but I especially appreciate your perspective and how you take objectivity and data to support all your views, which brings me to the question I have. Do we have a halftime adjustment problem with the offense? Dak Prescott has a QBR in the first half of 2 games of 98.7 and a QBR in the second half of 53.4. We've accounted for 6 total points in the second half offensively. And when we needed to convert third downs to CeeDee Lamb, they missed on slants. Just wanted to get your thoughts. What's going on with the second half? One game we didn't need it. One game we did, and we couldn't do anything in either half.
You know, hold on, Rex. Is this your first time to call?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you know what that means. Here we go. And thank you. You probably could have just thrown a rock at this place. I mean, you're at Frisco, right down the street. Thank you.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what? You might be onto something. And again, 2 games in, is still, to me, I'd like to carry over from last year. It's still early in the year. If you look at last year, scoring by quarters, the Cowboys absolutely dominated every quarter, first, second, and fourth. The only quarter that they didn't outscore teams was the third quarter. So, you're looking at this year. I'm looking at last year, and it seems like, for whatever the reason, you're not adjusting, or you're not or they're making more adjustments, or whatever it is, and that's just from the scoring standpoint. So I'm not gonna squash that one just yet, because that's kind of what we saw from last year too. So there may be something to this about them needing to. Obviously, needing to make some adjustments. Now, I'll say this too. If I remember correctly, they weren't winning any coin tosses last year, and they were starting with the football a lot, which means they weren't starting the third quarter, and so that might be one of the reasons why they're not getting as many points. But either way, though, you can still stop them on defense. So I do think you might be on something with the adjustments there.
Do you put that on Mike McCarthy?
Yeah.
Do you put it on Schottenheimer? Do you put it on Dak?
I mean, I think you have to put that on the head coach. I mean, that's where that goes. Just like the fact that they were outscoring people 144-67 in the first quarter, I'll put that. That was the fourth quarter, but 129-56 in the first quarter last year. I'll put that on the head coach too. Good job. I mean, got the team ready to go. So you can't just be on the head coach when it's bad. It's when it's good too. But I think it goes on the coaches. It goes on how they're preparing, and sometimes ego, comes into play here too, where they're like, we just do what we do. They have to stop us. We're gonna do what we do. Well, that works until they stop you, and then what? So, but anyways, good stuff there, Rex. Appreciate the call. We're going to take a break here on Cowboys Storyline, and we'll be right back after this.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's AltecLansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
to Cowboys Storyline.
All right, are you the Dallas Cowboys fan of the year? Captain Morgan is celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, original fans. Nominate yourself for the biggest fan that you know to be the fan of the year. You can win certain prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/fan of the year. All right, let's go back to the phone lines here. Lewis in Langston, Oklahoma. You back?
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
No, I'm good, man. I just I told Chris I had to handle some business. My wife called me frantic. They put the kids' school on lockdown, so I had to make a whole bunch of phone calls and figure out if everybody was okay.
Yep. No, I've been there. I hear it. That's not a good phrase to hear when you have kids, of course. Or even if you don't. But I mean, certainly if you do, that's not good. All right.
Oh, no, man. I was calling, man. I kind of peeped out the Ravens game, and first off, I don't think they're using Derrick Henry right, so I'm praying they continue not using Derrick Henry right this week, and so we don't have to worry about trying to deal with 250 pounds of grown man. But my biggest concern, and I think I've called and talked about this all summer, is like the big boys up front. And I'm not a big PFF grade guy like that, but I mean, if you wanted to take anything in consideration, they had all three of our D linemen, or big boys, Mozzie and the other Justin Phillips and Linval Joseph, as like three of the worst linemen in the game the other day. Now I know it may be a different scheme, but Jesus, like where do we go? Because like I said, I'm more worried about the big boys up front because then it helps protect the linebackers in the back. So. Right. If they pushing them out the way, our linebackers aren't going to be no good. And so all this talk about getting linebackers ain't helping if they can't even get off blocks because the big boys up front ain't doing no good.
Right.
And my next thing was, where's all these packages where Micah is supposed to play linebacker and not DN? Because I see him on the line, and I don't know if he's supposed to be just walking off the line or on the line, but I see him playing more DN than he does linebacker. Would that help? But at the same time, like I said, it's more of like, would it even help if the D lineman is still sitting in his lap? It wouldn't make no difference.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that. I think thanks for the call, Lewis. I do believe that Micah, this is time to throw some of those things out there that we haven't seen before and try to confuse the quarterback, give him a look that they haven't seen. Give Lamar Jackson a look that he hasn't seen. Micah's got to be a player that you have to recognize. And so if he's sitting at a different spot in the field. But to do that, though, you have to be willing to not rush him at times. I mean, he can't just be rushing from the linebacker spot. There's going to be times where he has to play linebacker, which is fine. I'm not saying he can't do that. But he's got to shed those blocks, too. Those guards that get to that next level. And you said how they're using Henry, and you hope it's, that they continue to do it. Well, just think about what 0-2 looks like there. I mean, 1-1 sounds pretty bad here. I mean, the sky is falling at 1-1. If you're 0-2 in Baltimore, there's a lot of questions about who's doing this and why aren't they doing this. And so typically that's when things start to shift back to what people are talking about. Or I'm not saying that the coaches give in to media and fans and all that, but if everyone's kind of saying it, usually that's when they're like, all right, let's kind of go back to what we know and what we do. And I think he's a downhill runner, Derrick Henry, and we're going to see a lot of that. I mean, why wouldn't you look at the tape from the Cowboys-Saints game if you're Baltimore and go, well, let's just run over them. We can do that too. I mean, we don't have a Kamara, but we've got Henry, and we've got Lamar Jackson, who's the most dynamic quarterback in the game when it comes to running. So we can do that. And so they're probably going to do that. It's going to be very important for the Cowboys to establish that early, that they can stop the run. All right, let's go to Rick in Massachusetts.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Hey, good. How are you?
All right. I have a couple of things. One is maybe what do you think about switching it up a little bit and maybe bringing Ryan Flournoy in to see if we can get some of the deep threat type thing, and whether it's sitting Jalen Brooks or something like that. Also, I've heard, hopefully they would, give Overshown, into the base package or
right.
He can work both, so we can just have them on the field. Those are the two things I was thinking about, and get your opinion. And I'll
all right.
I'd like to be partially optimistic for this weekend, but we'll see.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks. You. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be optimistic, stay optimistic. Sure, the Ravens, I mean, I've said it, and everyone's saying it, they're going to be desperate, they're hungry. They're also 0-2. I mean, they're 0-2. I mean, you are what you are. I mean, they didn't beat the Raiders at home. I mean, we thought that, I watched the Raiders in preseason, and I saw their starters play into the third quarter, and I thought this might be one of the worst teams in football. I mean, that's what it looked like. Now, it's preseason, but man, I mean, I wasn't impressed with, their starting quarterbacks. I was just like, this is going to be a tough year for them. But and it still might be. But the point is that the Ravens are 0-2 because they're 0-2. They haven't been good enough to win their first two games. That doesn't mean that they're not a good team. It doesn't mean they can't come in here and run all over the Cowboys. But the Cowboys are going to have to figure this out. I like some of the things you said. I mean, that's an easy change to me, Ryan Flanoy for Jalen Brooks. I'm fine with that. I mean, Brooks is playing a lot though. I mean, he gets out there. They use four receivers a lot. And he gets some. He caught a pass, obviously in the first game against Cleveland on a big drive, and then of course he was the guy that Dak was throwing to, and he fell down. I've never been a huge fan of Brooks. Not that it's that I have an opinion one way or another. I just kind of think, all right, not bad, not great. And he's probably bringing something to special teams because he does play a lot on special teams. So if Flanoy can pick up that slack on special teams, he might give you a little bit more in the passing game. I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. All right, let's go to Tim in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Tim.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I am good. It's getting harder and harder to get through to you.
Well,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I wish we could have a longer show. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, we're stacked here. We got shows all day long. But I mean, every once in a while it would be nice to have a longer show to get everybody a chance to call.
Yeah, well, I genuinely miss you guys when you're not. During the off season or whatever. So it's good to get in. Just want to make a few points. I have been coaching football forever, and it's one thing that I teach my kids, and that word is compete.
Right.
And the effort that I saw Sunday, it was like one caller brought up earlier when they saw Tank running downfield behind a running back 20 yards down the field.
Right.
Love that. But, I to me, it just seems like we're a step off. We give up just a little too easy. And I hate to say this about, professional football players because I've never been to that level, but I just want to see a little more dog out of these guys,
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and you want to see that again. It's always tough. I'm always hesitant to talk about things like that you really can't prove. And I know you're kind of doing the same thing, but yeah, you see a little bit of that. That you want them to fight back. I mean, they get down early. This hasn't been a team that really gets down early and comes back. And, I'm talking like two, 3 scores. And that's, it's tough to do in this league, but we just don't see it happening a lot.
And football is the reason why I love this game so much is it mirrors life so much. In life, you're going to get put on your butt. What are you going to do? Are you going to lay there or are you going to get up and fight back? And I just want to see a little more fight out of our guys.
Yeah.
And that's basically all I have to say.
All right. Looking for more fight. I don't disagree at all. Let's take a break here, and I'll take our last one. We'll be right back on Storyline to get the rest of the calls.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys Game Day is brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL. The NFL season is full of legendary tales on and off the field. And when you follow the captain within you, stories become stuff of legends. So gather your crew and visit followthecaptain.com to begin your adventure. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, New York.
Back to Cowboys Storyline.
Let's get your game day kicks in order here. 2024 Dallas Cowboys Nike Zoom Pegasus running shoes. Discover the ultimate comfort with its responsive cushioning and breathable mesh. Visit a pro shop near you. Log on to shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics experience. All right, let's go to the phone line with Rob in Vegas. Rob, what's up?
Hey, Nick.
Hey, Rob. How are we doing?
I'm good. Everybody's talking about, what we want, this team is. And what we want this team to be is not what they are. This team is fast break basketball. This team is not punch in the mouth on either side of the football. And the best thing this team could do is they have to pass the ball. The passing game is going to carry this team. They need to get a double-digit lead for this defense to be good. This defense, and I say double-digit because even if they're only up 3 or 7, if teams want to run the ball, we're not built to stop the run. So we've seen it last year. If we get a double-digit lead and we could just rush the passer, put pressure on, that's when you'll get interceptions and sacks, obviously. And I think it's predicated on Dak, but he needs some playmakers on offense. And I'm not talking about fast guys like Cooks is fast. We need a quick guy. We need a guy that you could throw a quick pass to, and he could make people miss. We always keep thinking it's going to be Turpin. It's not. He's been on this team now for a few years, and for whatever reason, they don't get him involved in the passing game.
Right.
Either he doesn't know the offense still, or they just don't trust him. And defenses, we only have one trick pony. Everybody's going to double cover CeeDee Lamb. I mean, even last week we got lucky where two guys collided and he goes 60 yards. This offense right now, it's stuck in like second gear. It's not. Everything looks hard, and I think they have to get away from the running game. We don't have a running back. We're not a running team. The only time this team should lean on the run is after they have the lead. But they need to throw the ball. Just throw the ball all over the yard, and get, especially against the Ravens. Then they're not a good passing team. You get a lead on them, double digit, and let's face it, you want Lamar Jackson to throw the ball.
Right.
So I just think we all want the defense to be more like San Francisco, linebackers, Smith. We don't have it. As great as Micah is, that's not him. He doesn't want to play the run. They're in a tough spot because they've yet to get a defensive end that they could really trust out there to say, okay, now we can really move back. Because, yes, if you put Mike at linebacker, we could try, but there is nobody that rushes the passer. We don't have anybody. So you have to kind of put him on the end. And, yes, you're going to move them maybe blitz, but if there is a running play, they'll run away. This week is going to be hard because of the read option with Lamar, and Micah doesn't play that really well. So that's going to be interesting how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
But it's all about the offense. Forget the defense. The defense is an average defense until they get a lead. If you're in passing downs, this defense is top 5. But if the games are close, or they're going to be low-scoring games where the team is still not going to abandon the run, then no, we're going to struggle. So it's all on Dak. And Mike McCarthy needs to do better. The offense is too vanilla. You just can't run end arounds with certain personnel that teams like, oh, here it comes. We say it as fans. You see it, all right, there's an end around the Turpin. There's an end around the CD. You could do it once in a while, but they got to push the ball. I don't want to see a run into the line on first down to get 2 yards. This year so far, every third down has been like 3rd and 7 or more.
All right.
And
yeah,
I think it's all on Dak, and it's all on the passing game.
All right. You know what? You make good points. I could argue with you about the offense being too vanilla and say that maybe they're not vanilla enough, because everything you're saying about not having the lead and having to pass on it, if they could just line up and run the football, like if you could just say, we're going to hand the ball off to whoever it is, we're going to get it blocked up front, we're going to knock you back, we're going to get 4, 5, 6 yards, maybe 15. It's just pretty basic. It's not much to it. That's pretty vanilla football, but you know what? That works. And so that's why I would disagree. If they could be a little bit more vanilla and not have to start up with, cherry jubilee or whatever other flavor that it's nice to have that kind of stuff, but can I just get the Neapolitan? Can we just get the basic stuff and do well with that? Every ice cream shop in the world, I guarantee the number one seller is vanilla. And there's a reason for that. So it's basic. Just like every football team. Number one thing that they want to do is run the ball. Not everybody can. Saints can. Not everybody else can. Let's see if the Cowboys can do that. Because if they can do that, and everything that you said, and Rob said a lot of things there, but if you could just run the ball, how many other things does that affect? Your passing game, all of a sudden, Cooks is wide open. Ferguson's going to be open. CD not going to be doubled as much. Oh, the Cowboys might have a lead. Then they have a lead. Then they don't have to worry about, playing 3rd and 2 all the time. They could play a lot more 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10 because they're going to have a lead and teams are going to have to throw, which plays right into their hand. So, to me, of all the dominoes that are lined up, the first one, run the football and be able to run it. By doing that, everything else can start working from there. All right. That's my rant right there of the day. Speaking of, and we got to get a Yeti hot take. That felt like a hot take. I got to get one at some point this week, and I figured at a week like this, we should have a lot of chances to do that. All right, let's go to Greg in Sacramento.
Hey, Nick, I agree 100% with your rant there, by the way.
Thank you.
But my thing, the raging question that I've had since Monday is, who is this team? Like, who are the Cowboys? Like, I don't. We're going into week 3 here against the Ravens, and I don't even know how do I be? Am I going to be excited like how I was after the first game against the Browns, or do I need to expect another Saints game where the team I don't even recognize is out there playing? Like, as a fan, I have no idea how to feel about this game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who this team is. Like, they look like two completely different teams between game 1 and game 2.
Yeah, I think that's called.
I just don't know.
I think they call that the NFL. I think that's what. Seriously, I think that's what they call it. And I'm looking right now because I have no clue. I was just looking. I don't even know what the line for this game is, and it's Baltimore 1.5.
Wow.
A little surprising there, but I don't know.
Yep.
But that.
And what?
Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say one other thing too that I just wanted to mention, and then I'll let somebody else call. But I was listening to Micah's podcast, and I know I'm not. He's going to do what he's going to do, whatever. But there was just something that he said that just did not sit well with me. He was saying that he attributed the loss to a lack of effort from the whole team, and I'm thinking to myself, it's week 2. How is there a lack of effort in week 2? Like, the second game of the season, I understand, when you get down further in the season, like how you said before, people are hurt. right? Maybe not necessarily injured, but people are out there playing hurt. And I could see how that would affect effort, right, if you're hurting. But, I mean, this is the second game of the season. Like, nobody's out there playing hurt. So what is there – how is there a lack of
yeah.
You know, like what Micah said, that didn't make sense to me. I don't know. Maybe you can help me understand that.
Hey,
but I'll listen to it.
All right. Thank you, Greg. We had a call. I mean, we had a mailbag question this morning on the website about that, and I answered it like I have in the past. You know, it's one of those things that's very tough to prove. You know, effort. Are you running hard? Are you trying hard? All that kind of stuff. And so it's just one of those categories that people like to throw out there because it sounds like a good sports take. You know, you just need more effort, need more of this, need more of that. But I'll say this though, and you know, you can throw the irony on this if you want, but a lot of times the effort and it comes with the preparation, and that is not a Sunday thing. Effort is not about Sunday. It's about middle of the week. It's about, did you watch enough tape? Did you practice as hard as you needed to? Are you studying your playbook in your iPad as much as you should? Do you have a good understanding of what they're trying to do and what they might do to you? All of those things, you know, and that's where effort and preparation and those things that are happening during the week. Again, I say that, and then there is some ironic with based off of who said what and when and all that kind of stuff. And I'll just reiterate: players get days off. Okay, they all get a day off, and they get to do whatever they want to do. So I never thought it was okay for people to criticize your quarterback for playing golf competitively on days off or whatever they want to do. And if they want to do a podcast, they want to do. That's fine. It is what it is. My point though is sometimes you get beat. You get beat often in the middle of the week. And so I don't like to question effort on Sunday, but I think sometimes you can question, you know, are they prepared during the week? You just got beat by a team that was practicing less than normal. They were moving around because of the hurricane down in Louisiana, so they had to go to Dallas early. It was a show for them, and they were able to come in here, and it did not look like that they struggled at all. I got to take one more call before we go. Bob in Rio Grande Valley. Bob, what's up?
Morning, Nick. I've been listening to the callers that are calling in. I agree with the caller that was talking about deferring. We need to take the damn football and try to get a score to get the other team playing from behind. Secondly, we need to do something with this running game, and we've got the tools on the team to do it. We need to take Hunter Lipke, Dalvin Cook, and Zeke in that rotation and give those guys the ball and let them run with it. If you're going to use a two-back situation, then you can use Lipke as a blocker, the lead blocker. But run the ball. And every once in a while, you've got to take and throw the ball down the damn field to somebody like Flannery to open the field up. This playing Woody Hayes football ain't going to get it. That's what I've got to say today, and I'm sticking with it.
All right. Thank you, Bob. Well, you know, I mean, they're a throwing team. They're not just going to run it all the time. You have to run it some. And I wish that they were just a balanced team. Just whatever, see what it is, see what the defense is giving you, take it from there, exploit them that way. You want to bring the safeties in, we'll throw it over the top. That's what I thought the Saints did. I mean, they did a great job of that. They won in 5 different ways. Kamara out of the back, Kamara up the middle, to the side, out of the backfield, deep balls, middle. They did it that way, and that's what I think a really good balanced team can do when you can play football that way. So, all right. I mean, we'll see. We'll be able to talk about this a little bit more tomorrow. Who should be the running backs? What should they do? How much should they run? How much should they blitz? How much should they do everything? We'll talk a little bit more about that and kind of maybe get a deeper dive in what the Cowboys should do against the Ravens on Sunday. We'll do that tomorrow. All right. For all the callers, great calls today. Appreciate that. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you tomorrow on Cowboy Storyline. See you.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?